That was good, man. That was good. I psyched myself out. Oh, look at you. Wow, man. You look like a barbarian. Welcome back, everybody, to Shift Fire, the exploration and appreciation of all things military culture. I'm Israel Wright, former Green Beret. With me, as always,
thank you, Izzy. Cameron Fath, former Army Ranger, and today we're watching part 2 of our Ghillie Suit FTX, or Field Training Exercise. We've built our Ghillie Suit, but now we're gonna put it to the test. We're gonna make sure it works, and we're gonna learn a little bit about the art of camouflage. But before we just dive into it, I think it's worth talking about the elements of visual perception.
Right, things that are gonna help you hide and things that are gonna help me try to find you, right? So
Absolutely.
kind of universal aspects, how we see and how we perceive nature.
A true understanding of these 9 elements is gonna really help you as a sniper or a reconnaissance asset, knowing where to hide, choosing your terrain accordingly, or any military or civilian, especially hunters, trying to identify their game of how to detect movement out in nature. And those 9 elements of visual perception are gonna be as follows. So we have line, outline, and edges. We have shapes. We have contrast and value. We have color. We have texture. We have movement. We have positive and negative space. We have rhythm and flow. And then we have light. Let's break them down a little bit just to get a better idea of what these things actually mean. So line, outline, edge, right? Everything, especially man-made, has a line, has a hard edge, has an outline to it, right? Trees have really distinct lines. It's easy to identify something just based off lines. Especially in nature, texture is essentially using the same terrain that's around you. If you're hiding in tall grass, you probably want to use tall grass, right? If you're hiding around pine trees, you don't want to use tall grass around pine trees because the texture of the grass does not match the pine trees.
If it's smooth around you, you want to be smooth. If it's rough around you, you want to be rough and bumpy.
So light has a couple different things. Reflection, right? Wearing things that can reflect sunlight and spot you. And with light also comes shadows, right? Casting shadows, big black ball, right? My eye is naturally going to direct to that shadow. So with light, you have reflections, you have shadows, and then obviously your contrast and value. Do I match the terrain based on the light that's on me? So shape is very similar to outlines, edges, and outlines, right? Because lines come together to create shapes, and just like you said, the whole purpose of the Ghillie Suit is to break out the natural human outline and create something that biologically humans aren't really programmed to see.
Rhythm and flow, this is a very philosophical sounding thing, but what is that?
Really, rhythm and flow means being one with nature, right? So I don't want to disrupt the natural vibe around me. It's super hippie shit, but literally if I'm, tying stuff to my Ghillie Suit, like tall grass, for example, and I'm hiding in a prairie with a lot of tall grass, and the wind is coming through and hitting it, and everything's naturally moving like that, and I tie it too tight, and my grass doesn't want to move, I'm disrupting the rhythm and flow of the environment that I'm in. So I have to become one with nature and make sure everything on my person is moving with everything around me, in sync, one with nature. Color's great. It's pretty much just ensuring that the things I'm putting on my Ghillie Suit are matching my environment. Contrast and value, right? So contrast is the dissimilarity between 2 objects, and value is essentially how dark or light they are. Not to be confused with color, which is similar, but that's everything around, matching yourself to your environment. But contrast and value is just understanding how dark or light my suit is, and basically not making me stand out because I'm too dark or too light than the colors around me. Movement, super basic. Jinx, you owe me a soda. The human eye is very keen to picking up lateral movement, so I don't want to move laterally on objectives. I want to utilize different IMT techniques, so like high crawls, low crawls, clover leafing, doing a box method around my objective, so that way I'm not skylining myself. So positive and negative space, right? These are really important. So positive space is anything that takes up mass. So looking around us, positive space would be that stump on the ground, this giant tree, but negative space is all the space in between those. So
you and I, positive space.
Yep.
Right in here, negative space.
Negative space, absolutely. As a trained sniper or recon guy, I want to utilize my negative space because large things tend to draw attention, right? So I want to make sure I'm in a negative space so people aren't naturally looking for trees and big bushes, right? Okay. I want to be where they wouldn't expect me to be.
Good tools for you to hide, good tools for me to come and find you.
Absolutely.
What now?
All right, man, just do me a favor. Get the fuck out of here so I can suit up, camo up, and we can get this going. Israel's gone. I laid out my ghillie suit. I'm in the area that I plan on hiding, so it's time to start actually camouflaging the ghillie suit. It's pretty cool because we're in a kind of dead area, so things I wouldn't have to worry about if my environment was alive and, you know, grass was green would be, when I take it out of the ground, there typically would be dirt attached because roots are alive and they're sticking to it, right? So I don't have to worry about that with this. But if I did, I wanted to bring a pair of shears with me, so instead of ripping the plant out of the ground and having a bunch of dirt attached, because realistically, if you're attaching that to your ghillie suit, now you have patches of dirt on you and that could make you stick out. So luckily, not having that problem. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and start grabbing handfuls of this foliage and tying them down to my ghillie suit, camouflaging the ghillie suit to match the environment around me. That's why I put 550 cord all over my ghillie suit so I could attach it. Another way you could attach foliage if you wanted to would be with rubber bands. Girth hitching a rubber band to it is a really fast way of attaching foliage to your ghillie suit. But the thing about rubber bands is they're more prone to breakage when you start moving. If you have to low crawl, you might lose some of the stuff attached. So 550 cord is gonna be your best bet, but rubber bands are also a solid option. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start camoing this ghillie suit to hide from Izzy. Pretty much, you always wanna start with a light base, meaning light camis, right? Multi-cams or deserts, just because it's easy to make light dark, if you will, but it's really hard to make dark light. Snipers in the Army or in the Marine Corps start with a pretty light olive green or a tan khaki base. And things you can do too, just so you're staying within the rhythm and flow of your environment, is once you start attaching shit to your back, give it a little bend. That way it looks like it's standing up on you instead of, you know, just on your back shooting towards wherever you're looking at. When you're working in an area that's a little bit more alive, when you rip plants out of the ground, they start to change color for the fact because you're killing them. So luckily everything's dead around here, but if you're in an area that's a little bit more alive, you pull off all the plants around you. Make sure you're periodically checking the foliage on your back, because now you might be throwing off the color and the contrast and the value, just because as plants start to die, they start to lose their coloration, they start to wilt, they look out of place. You're noticing how much foliage I am using. Pick a spot to pick from that's not really close, or at least behind you if you're planning on moving. Just because if you're picking from the area you want to hide, you're doing damage. You're making it look like someone's been scurrying through. So if someone's a really good tracker, they can tell someone's in the area just because all the foliage is disturbed. Plus you get leaving footprints behind, you're leaving FOD behind if it's FOD's foreign object on debris. Don't leave your trash behind. Yeah, so pretty much this is the basics of where to grab, how to mount it to your ghillie suit. I'm gonna get cracking on this, so next time you see me, you won't. So, all ghillied up. I wouldn't be a true ghillie guy unless I truly camoed my entire face. So what I'm gonna be doing is applying some camouflage paint on my face. Now the goal of this is just to flatten my face. Faces are three-dimensional. You wanna make yourself one-dimensional. So basically reversing the orientation of all where your shadow points are on your face. So for example, I'm gonna put lighter colors where there tends to be darker spots on my face. So I'm gonna put light colors around the underneath my eyes, underneath my nose, underneath my chin, and the rest is gonna be darkened. So I'm just gonna reverse the orientation of pretty much my face. Here we go, my pores, forgive me. Mustaches make this way harder. They're just naturally dark. And you can do stripes just as long as you hit those spots that are supposed to be light. So bottom of the eyes, underneath the nose, underneath the chin primarily, and the rest should be dark. So now I'm gonna grab a little bit of a darker color. I'm gonna do my nose, my cheekbones with it. I'm not gonna worry too bad about my forehead just because I'm gonna be wearing a hat. So as long as I'm doing the eyes in a light color, then back to dark. And then of course, bridging the nose. And then don't forget your neck and the ears. Get deep in those crevices on my nostrils, and then of course my lipstick. A little bit more in the neck. And we'll call that good for now. How's my face look? Do I look like a clown? I think we're good to go. Let's find a good spot and wait for Izzy.
Well, here we are, fire team. The game is afoot. I am here to seek out the Cameron Fath in his natural habitat. Now we know that the Cameron Fath is an elusive being and does not like to be spotted. So he has camouflaged himself out there. He has put on his ghillie suit, and I will find him. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna look. I'm just gonna get a general picture. I'm thinking of all the things that he talked about, thinking of light, shadow, line, contrast and value, positive and negative space. Yeah, the depth, you know, how far back this thing goes, my left and right limits. I know he's out there, he wants me to fail. This is not your day, Cameron. I'm coming for you. The wind's kind of blowing a little bit. I'm checking to see how the grass is moving. The rhythm and the flow, I want to feel, I want to be one with nature. As Cameron is, so am I. Don't see any tree tumors out there. I'm looking at the grass. Maybe I see something. Maybe I see something. I'm looking for movement. I'm looking for shapes that are maybe outside the norm for the surrounding area. Looking for shadows. And I thought I saw something. Upon closer inspection, it's looking like it's just some muffled up grass. I think I see, shoot, I don't know if that's my eyes deceiving me. I think I see some shine there. A little bit of shine. Is that a shine of something from Cameron? That could just be a shadow, like somebody laying down there from a distance. Your eyes really do try to look for stuff that sticks out. It just could be your eye trying to identify a human shape or something that's out of nature, out of the ordinary. Hold on. I think I got him. Locking this one in. This is my guess. All right, I'm locked in. I think I know where he's at. I got two really good options. One's a little bit closer and one's a little bit further away. All right, that's it, locked in. It's further down, it's a long ways down towards the end of the property. I thought I saw him over to the right, but I think those are just shadows messing with my mind, so I'm gonna go straight ahead, all the way down. I tried to think of, well, what would Cameron do? What would Cameron try to? Cameron, I feel like, would try to get closer. He would try to get really close and then be able to pop him back. I was right here. He'd want to challenge himself like that. Oh man, it was my instincts. It was my first instincts. Oh man! Oh, I should have gone with my instincts. That was good, man, that was good. I psyched myself out. Oh, look at you! Wow, man. Woo! You really did a good job, man. I think there was only one part that made me suspicious, but everything else around you, it was like a piece of the terrain got up and started moving towards me. You look like a barbarian. You got me, man. I had two options, and I saw stuff over there where you were at, and I thought I saw some grass that was together. But when I looked on the scope, I thought there were shadows and stuff fooling with me.
No, that's the thing about looking through optics. Your eyes sometimes play tricks on you because the strain placed on just focusing on such a small and focused area. Like I had to start melting at one point down because I was like, my eyes are starting to hurt because I was watching you the entire time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just hanging out. I didn't know you had a scope too.
No,
man.
I was watching.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
And when you said I'm locked in, I was like, slowly started melting down because I was up on my elbows the entire time looking, and cool little piece of equipment is a veil.
Yeah.
So that way, otherwise, if you would have seen this circle around
that
there, that's
reflection.
a perfect circle. That doesn't exist
That
in
glint.
nature. So a good way is just put the veil over, and you can still look through it.
Yeah.
So, hell yeah, dude. Well, that was fun.
Good job. Well, that was awesome, Cam. You did a great job in your ghillie suit, and you did a really good job of hiding, man.
Thanks, man. It's all in a day's work. And we hope you enjoyed watching this. And more importantly, we hope you learned something about the art of camouflage. Don't be afraid to get a little dirty out there. If you guys like this video, let us know by hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, leave a comment below. Super happy that you guys joined us for this one. But we'll catch you on that next one.
Or we won't.
Man, just do me a favor. Get the fuck out of here so I can suit up, camo up, and we can get this going. Get deep in those crevices. And then, of course, my lipstick. How's my face look? Look like a clown.
Hold on. I think I got him.